When you hear the word farmer or farming, what do you think about? For those of us who come from the country, you might think of water boots, a man with a machete, or even a donkey. A quick internet search for the word shows mostly men, but don't be fooled, women around the world have always been involved in gardening and farming, and Jamaica is no exception. Today we're talking to one such woman. This is Elizabeth Levy, but she wants you to call her Liz. Liz is an investor farmer who works with the Agro Investment Corporation, AIC. She's been in the field for 4 years. AIC serves as the agribusiness facilitation arm of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries. The corporation ensures the use of government-owned agricultural assets, including agro-parks where investor farmers lease lands and plant crops. Liz Levy's farm sits on 5 acres of land at the Amity Hall Agro Park in St. Catherine. Let's find out how she got started with farming.
Got into farming because my hobby was gardening. I was crazy about plants. Obsessed with plants. Still am, although I don't have much time for it these days. So it was almost a natural progression. When I wanted something to do, I wanted to go into my own business, and I think of farming as a business. So it's a very unglamorous story, but it's the truth. It's a simple story.
So, what does she plant?
I haven't had a wide range of crops that I've worked with. I basically just planted hot peppers over the years. Both Scotch bonnet and West Indian red peppers. I've dabbled in cabbage. I've tried a cabbage, a small plot of cabbage, but that was mostly for friends and family. I've tried pumpkin. I've planted sweet potato. That went well. But essentially, I have stuck with peppers because I have a market for it.
And your harvesting period?
My harvesting period is pretty much all year, because what I've tried to do is to divide up the land into quadrants so that I plant it in a staggered way to extend the period of time when I would be reaping.
But what is a farmer without buyers and a market? After all, the crops must be bought. Liz speaks to her operation and describes the benefits of being on an agro park.
I am a contract farmer with a particular company, so I've made my own marketing arrangements, but that's easy to do because of the crop that I'm in. For other people who plant other kinds of crops, they absolutely do help you. And just being on the park alone attracts buyers. You will see people come in here like before market days, just looking for produce. So that's another plus of being on an agro park. But every few weeks, AIC head office is always getting in touch with us about potential markets.
The National Water Commission implemented a prohibition order that took effect on Thursday, July 9, 2020. The entity says this is in order to prevent the wastage of potable water for non-essential purposes. As a result of the order, the watering of lawns, gardens and farms with potable water is a punishable offense. NWC says this has become necessary as water levels in the island's dams are critically low due to a prolonged dry spell affecting Jamaica for several months. Farmers are no strangers to the effects of climate change, and Liz has been impacted.
Definitely it has. Not so much here, because a big plus of farming on one of the government agro parks is that you have access to water. We have irrigation, so that's not so much an issue. But when I was planting in another parish where there was no water, it had a direct impact on my farming operation, and hence my decision to relocate into the agro park.
So what has it been like for a woman in farming? For Liz, it's not that hard.
You tend not to really be quite taken as seriously in the beginning, but it's not a huge constraint. You know, once people see that you are, as I say, trying person, People help. I really can't honestly say that when it comes right down to it, that it's mattered that much.
And her advice to persons who are interested in farming?
I would say check out AIC. They know what they're doing. You want to go to an organization that knows what they're doing, right? And has experience in the area. I would say go to AIC because their parks are managed, they have irrigation. You don't want to be anywhere in this climate change period without irrigation. And I would say always try to secure your market before you put a spade in the ground, which is a common piece of advice that you get from people in agriculture.
Thanks, Liz. This is The Business of Food.